You are now live.
We are now live. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, we've been waiting for Ellen to draft something. Ellen, I'm just trying to figure out, did you take 161 and strike a whole lot out, or just you did? Can you share screen and show us what you have?
Sure.
Okay, make it a little bigger.
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
So Faith has already posted on your website today. It's draft 1.1. It is a strike all amendment. But that means it's just a lot shorter, really.
Oh, you didn't even cry. You could have done the Zorro things like the house.
That is only done by the clerk or the Senate once it's passed. So I stay away from that. But
Okay, I like the Zorro things. They're cool.
That's it. That's all good.
That's it.
so section 1 just has a date change in it. So this is the underlying statute 30 VSA 8009B. The obligation created under this subsection shall cease on November 1, 2025. Section 2 amends last year's bill because of the order extension to keep the same price. So it directs the PUC to all decisions and orders of the PUC related to Rygate, so docket 7782 shall remain in full force and effect through October 1, 2025 for years 2023, 2024, and from the period to January 1 to August 31st of October 31st, 2025. The purchase price shall be the levelized value in the order 7782. And so that is what you did last year. You're just extending the existing order, not asking the PUC to do a new rate determination.
Okay.
And then finally, section 3 amends last year's section 3 and changes it to on or before January 15th, 2024, the owner shall report back to the General Assembly on whether a project utilizing excess thermal energy has been developed and is operational, or whether a project using the excess generation will be operational.
Okay.
Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Go ahead, Senator. Wait, I had Senator McDonald first.
If this legislation were to pass, or for that matter, if nothing passed, and Rygate and a electric customer were to purchase power from them at a market rate or a rate that they both agreed on mutually, would the language here prohibit that from taking place?
Yeah, so currently under the statute, and I'm not sure if it's on this, it's not here. Currently under the statute, all of Rygate's output is purchased by the Vermont utilities.
So I'll try and rephrase your question once, and if not, I'll give up. But if someone were to approach Rygate and say, at the end of the current contract,
at the end,
we've offered to pay you this amount of money for your electricity, and Rygate were to say, wonderful, let's sign a deal. Would all this language then be sort of moot and go away?
So
would such a thing be prohibited from happening?
But what you just asked is actually two separate things. The contract only extends to a certain date, after which they are not required to sell to the electric utilities So they could potentially have a contract with a different entity.
Thank you.
It doesn't make this necessarily moot because this is, but
Okay.
yeah.
Can,
Thank you.
I've got Senator Sorokin and then Senator Hardy. I have a hard stop at 4.
Two quick
And
questions.
we have a amendment that I at least want the committee to see to S53.
Is there any value in having 2 reports come in, one on January 23rd on the progress, even if they say they have nothing to report? And then the new date of January 1st, 24. I don't see the set, yeah, right there in section 3. Right now, they're supposed to report, and I assume they're planning on report, if nothing passes on the 23rd. Now we're moving that to 24. Should we have them report both years? Put a little pressure on them to. Just a suggestion. The other thing I wanted to
Yeah,
ask was,
I'd rather they're working on something, writing reports for us.
okay, and then how much are we talking about on an annual basis? That ratepayers pay? What,
Million.
1 million?
Who said the number recently?
Yeah, there's some, Ellen told
For,
us,
for the subsidy, rate
yeah,
subsidy?
the rate subsidy, what did,
It was 10 million over
Okay.
the period, over the term of the license.
Over the term of the license.
So if the 10-year extension of a year.
something like that, maybe, I didn't feel like it was that round, but,
Something like that.
something in that range. I'm looking,
So-
yeah, I was looking at the original Act 39, that conversation that Senator Bray was talking about, the 50%, and whether there was a possibility to clarify that, but I don't actually see that in Act.
No, that's all been struck.
Oh, it's all been struck, oh, good, problem solved.
This is it, all one page.
Okay, I thought it was in the current law.
No,
so,
this is
okay,
a strike all.
perfect.
So this just amends what we did last year. Everything in 161 is gone. And this just amends what we did last year and it extends everything by 1 year. Okay, are we ready to do this?
Can we, Mr. Gauss, could you scroll up so we can see the timestamp and things like that, please?
Well, there I go.
So, Madam Chair, I would move that we amend S-161 with draft 1.1. Times dated 3/11/22, timestamped 3:20 p.m.
Okay, it has been moved by Senator Bray that we approve draft 1.1 of S-161. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. I hear that as 7-0-0. And
Good report.
thank you.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Senator
I was gonna say, I'd like to report it, but you already have reported.
No, I don't. That's what I was looking for, so that's great. Okay, so we're gonna take this up 1 year. And the only other thing, congratulations, committee, we have gotten all our bills out. Well, a whole bunch we've got to get out next week, but we have gotten our bills out. And we have, and thank you, Ellen, you have.
You're welcome.
Senator Gray also moved to report the bill favorably when amended. Did he not?
Yes, that's the second step.
And the vote is the same, was it?
Yes,
Yes. Yep.
all right.
So, Mr. Kowski, can you email me a clean copy that I can take upstairs?
Yes, I was just doing that now.
You're a step ahead of me. That's not unusual.
So you guys don't want to talk about Act 250 right now, or no?
We don't want to talk about that, not in 20 minutes, and I'm hoping Abby is coming. I'm sure Faith is emailing her, because I just want the committee, and it's a lot simpler.
Famous last word.
than I thought it was. It's just striking stuff. I have copies if anybody wants to see them. I don't know, I didn't. I thought we got used to not doing this.
Wait, are we doing that 250?
No,
the S.
this is S53.
It's just so funny that this whole
It is,
transition from Joyce to Finnegan.
and it is the transition.
Look up what all this means.
What's that?
So now I gotta go look up what all this means. What's the second report?
161.
161.
Okay, Abby, are you with us?
I'm here, Madam
think
Chair.
you are. Thank you. S53, the tax department has been sending memos about transition language from Joyce to Finnegan. I thought we were getting something a lot more extensive than striking, so can you just explain to the committee, and I'll present this, bring it up as an amendment to 53. This point, I don't know if I can do it now, or I'll bring it up before third reading. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Abby Shepherd, Office of Legislative Counsel. I tried to keep the amendment language as short and simple as possible because it's really just removing one subdivision within session law that directed the department how to carry out the transition from Joyce to the Finnegan method. And just to remind you of what that transition means, it's looking at unitary combined filing groups, so large C corps that have many different entities, and determining whether Vermont has jurisdiction to include those different entities within the group in the apportionment factors for determining that group's income. Currently, Vermont uses the Joyce method, which looks at each individual entity as a different taxpayer. The Finnegan method really looks at the whole group as one taxpayer. So if one entity has nexus with Vermont, they all do. So that is all well and good. The transition language in the current, or what you voted out of your committee in subsection A, reiterates that for the very first tax year that the corporate changes will take effect, which is next tax year, 2023. What was missed in both the House version and then as we've been presenting and really focusing on more of the substantive changes made in the bill, the second subsection B still retained transition language relating to the throwback rule because it would have interacted differently had the way that Finnegan would have functioned would have interacted differently with apportionment if throwback was not being repealed. But both the House and your version of the corporate changes repeals the throwback rule. So that was my mistake by leaving that in the language. What this does is it fixes the transition language and removes any reference to how to handle throwback because the underlying changes in the bill do not, they remove the throwback rule altogether. So I apologize for not catching that. Thankfully, the Department of Taxes was looking at it and did catch that. That was originally
Just a technical change to that we all missed. That included using the throwback, which we have all gotten rid of. Exactly.
So that was from a version of one of the proposals where there was a phase-in of the single sales factor. There was a phase-in of repealing the throwout rule. That was all done away with, but this session law was retained. It would have, I'm not sure that it would have been operative anyway, because statute there would have been some, conflicting language there. Statute would have clearly not had the throwback rule, I'm sorry. But this cleaning this up, removing it from the language is a technical clarifying fix.
Okay, nothing substantial.
This is for a minute.
I will take this up
we still have the.
No, the bill is up and on notice.
So this is a.
And this is an amendment that I will put in on behalf of the committee, probably before third reading. Maybe, I don't know, can I get it up there? I've got a clean copy, right?
They're waiting for us, you know, because they knew we were working.
Okay, then we better. So I will go up and tell this copy that you sent is the clean copy, right? And it's under my name. And
Poll the committee and take.
I
committee's-
polled the committee. Does anybody object? All right, finance has seen it. And, okay, so I will take that up. I think we're done. Okay, thank you, everyone.
You.